my favorite love song. I
Hey.
love it all night long. Good morning. Good morning.
The sooner you give, the sooner you get to have a love of your own.
2, 1, 2. Oh my God. Here we are. Here the freak we are for another session. Morning love. Morning loves. Good morning wherever you are. If you happen to be listening, I have to give my disclaimer. Let's see. Where do I start? I think I'm going to play Blow the Whistle. No, I'm just kidding. Art is often well planned, strategized, and developed. Don't know if it's that much fun. Throwing caution to the wind, changing things up, surprising people is far more fun. Having said that, I cannot even tell you what's going to happen today. I know that music is the queen of my soul. I also know, just to give you a little bit of info, that I think I need a Wednesday break. So for the last couple weeks, I have been out and about on Wednesday evening. What makes that any different? Based on the idea that I occasionally would go to Twisted Cantina on Wednesday Eve. The difference is I wasn't having cocktails. And I am going to probably discontinue my cocktail usage. I don't want to lead you to believe that I'm spiraling downward into some kind of alcoholic frenzy or something like that. Occasionally, I sip. So last night, I sipped. Last night was Vic Lavender's birthday, and he had was it his event? Or, well, it was a birthday. I don't know what you call it anymore, actually, because when we do think about birthday events and stuff, you think about cakes and food, and none of that happened. So I don't know if it was a birthday party or was he DJ'd, Terry, James DJ. So, you already need to know. If you don't know either of these cats, then you need to know that the music was fabulous. I'm stalling right now, actually. As well. So I went out last night and I stayed longer than I was supposed to. Jesus. Yeah, I really did. So I'm going to play these tunes. We're going to have a good session. We're going to talk about last night. We're going to talk about quite a few things, actually, as I think they are important. I am sending you the most energy I can muster up for real today. And we are going to continue this mission. So I'm going to play a Vic Lavender tune. Good morning. Good morning, loves. Good morning, loves. I love y'all. You know I love y'all, right? You did. I hope you know I love you. I really, really do. I really, really, really do. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. When I say I'm going to give you, if you don't know me yet, we're at number 21, I think. If you don't know me yet, when I say I really, really love you, it means what? And I really, really struggled today. But I think the thing that you need to understand about me is that I'm not oh, I got reverb. Oh, let me turn these speakers down just a little bit. That's fabulous. I think I like it actually, but I'm not sure how much I like it. So I did some last minute situations, some adjustments, and that could be the reason why you're getting a reverb today. I don't know anything. All I know is I sat up at this desk and I plugged in my vintage controller, and let's just say she's vintage for a reason. As I'm finding out this morning, we have preserved her. Vintage controllers are vintage at this point. How interesting is that? I plugged her up. She sounds good. She's got a few little challenges. She's a little girl. I love this little girl. I love that she's little, but she's a bit challenged at this point. So we're playing these two. She's a bit challenged. I'm a bit challenged. We're playing these tunes. Music is the queen of my soul is the theme for today, because music is the queen of my soul. And it is one of my favorite average white band tunes. I'm going to slow down. But today is just all about the music, as it normally is to some capacity. Sometimes I take you on a journey. Sometimes it's themed. Today is a journey. And I'm just pulling these girls, and we're just going to play them. And we're going to talk about a bunch of things that I think are important, including how much time we spend on Facebook. And I know you may not want to hear it, but we got to have this conversation. Oh, snap. That's not what I wanted to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's go.
To the ancestors, it's time to be more than a riot. To the warriors, can't keep quiet. It's time to be more than a riot. Those who came before us, quiet. It's time to be more than a riot. Long live the revolution. Can't keep quiet. It's time to be more than a riot. Religion is like prison. Keep the people locked up in different divisions. Some of them promise you heaven, but I see a whole lot of bullshit, ism, schism, imperialism in the form of spirituality, slave mentality, escape reality. What we supposed to just suffer and smile and be content, sending our prayers to the clouds? I want my heaven now, freedom on earth, and if the preach ain't with us, then we take it as church. What is it worth to have the biggest religion when the people got miserable living conditions? No water, no lights, no rights. All over Africa we fight, but we have to unite, cause ain't no power in the gospel when the priest putting powder in his nostril, and the elders council fails to lead, and the children suffer from daily need, and the people can barely eat. Is it a sin to stand up and fight against the ones that put us in handcuffs? Goddamn, what happened to you?
Hold up, hold it. Good morning, Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown is in the building, y'all. We got celebrityisms up in the building. All right, you know what I got to do? You know what I have to do? I have to play this song from the top again, and I have to tell you why. I'd like for you to pay close attention to the lyrics. I need you to pay close attention to the lyrics. So I need to back this track up and start it again because I don't know if you know. Oh, Jesus. Nobody is supposed to be calling me this early in the morning. That's not true. But anyway, not on a Thursday. I need you to listen to these lyrics. I think that it is important to know on this day, at this time, the thing that I must tell you about this wonderful medium of music is that it is very important. It's very important. Regardless to the lack of value that is being placed on it, I need you to know that it is very important. It is history telling. It is past, present, and future in its art. It is a guide to live by, to learn by, to love by. It is educational. And I just heard several things that make me want to give thanks to the Creator for being here this morning. I also want to ask the universe and the Creator to give us the power and the strength to be able to deal with and endure these challenges that we face. That's all I'm going to say, but I really want you to listen to the tune. Listen.
Dabao no ma fé, ago pai. Dabao no ma fé, ago pai. Chevere. To the ancestors. This time will be more than a riot. To the warriors, can't keep quiet. This time will be more than a riot. Those who came before us. Riot. This time will be more than a riot. Long live the revolution. Can't keep quiet. This time will be more than a riot. Religion is like prison. Keep the people locked up in different divisions. Some of them promise you heaven, but I see a whole lot of bullshit, schism. Imperialism in the form of spirituality. Slave mentality, escape reality. What we supposed to just suffer and smile and be content, sending our prayers to the clouds. I want my heaven now, freedom on earth, and if the preacher ain't with us, then we take it as church. What is
If the preacher ain't with us, then we taking his church, Jesus.
Dabao no ma fé, ago pai. Dabao no ma fé, ago pai. Chevere. To the ancestors. Riot. This time will be more than a riot. To the warriors, can't keep quiet. This time will be more than a riot. Those who came before us. Riot. This time will be more than a riot. Long live the revolution. Can't keep quiet. This time will be more than a riot. Religion is like prison. Keep the people locked up in different divisions. Some of them promise you heaven, but I see a whole lot of bullshit, ism, schism, imperialism in the form of spirituality, slave mentality, escape reality. What we supposed to just suffer and smile and be content, sending our prayers to the clouds? I want my heaven now, freedom on earth, and if the preach ain't with us, then we take it as church. What is it worth to have the biggest religion when the people got miserable living conditions? No water, no lights, no rights. All over Africa we fight, but we have to unite. Cause ain't no power in the gospel when the priest putting powder in his nostril and the elders council fails to lead and the children suffer from daily need and the people can barely eat. Is it a sin to stand up and fight against the ones that put us in handcuffs? Goddamn, what happened to the daily bread? Spread love. Ain't that what the Bible said? But in the name of the Bible, how much love is spread compared to how much love is shared?
Every day my people stay inside the bar. Every day is the same day. Every day my people stay inside the bar. Every day is the same day. What are we doing, my dear? What are we doing, every day is the same day.
Every day I wake up is a miracle, thank you. Separate religious and the spiritual, thank you. See, I don't be asking in the air, every action is the prayer. The bear won't attack me, I'll be attacking the bear. See, back in the day I used to work in the bookstore. My job was to find whatever book you look for. I remember one day this lady came for a Bible. We was out, so I started showing her other titles, trying to share information about a religion. Everything that I showed her was written by Christians. Still, she got the hell up out of the place, wondering something about me shaking her faith. Now, knowledge is power, we spread information. How strong is your faith? What it take to be shaken? Yo, I think she missed what Jesus was saying. Can't keep your eyes closed to a revelation. You could be speaking in tongues, I'll be speaking to sons and daughters. My reflection, of course, wisdom to what it is. Beautiful, attractive, my musical contraption, classified as a usual practice. But that's what it takes to be a man. Free the land, crash down to Babylon like the seed of the sand. Peace of the fam, I want you all to stay strong and live long like the Daylight song. Come on,
Quiet, this time will be more than a riot. Can't keep quiet, this time will be more than a riot. Can't keep quiet, this time will be more than a riot. Can't keep quiet, this time will be more than a riot.
This way of life ain't right. Pray all day and night, don't fight. Poked up, doped up, work 3 jobs and fill the gold cup. No water, no food, no lights, no rights, no power to the people unite. It's called division and it works in prison. Look round, how my niggas is living. Everything we make, they taking it to the bank. While we sitting up in the church to give thanks. Don't you know the preacher got bank? Don't you know the niggas smoke dank? Did you ever think the Bible was a prank? Somebody about to faint. Oh, they came, they had the Bible, we had the land. Now we got the Bible, they got the land. And what did you believe in? Heaven or hell? Life is what you make it, so that's why I rebel. Uncle Sam got blood on his hands. Good God, how the devil can dance. Nobody wanna help a nigga. Put your hands together, do it yourself, my nigga. Don't sit there, you won't have a buddy rushing to die. So do something, don't just suffer and smile.
Every day my people stay inside the bar. Every day is the same day. Every day my people stay inside the bar. Every day is the same day. Baba, 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 baba. Baba, baba, baba. Every day is the same day.
So yeah, it's whatever today. You know that, right? I told you I love you already, didn't I? That's a good thing. That is a good thing. In Jesus' name.
Trust in me.
Thought it would be easy, something like a shopping spree. Yeah. But living life in limbo created your catastrophe. Oh, now you say you're sorry, and that's good, but it's not over yet. Yeah. But if you want me to forgive you, I'll be willing to forget it ever happened. Erase it from my mind. I gave my life to save you. That's the plan that I designed. Because I love you. Yes, I do, yeah. I love you. Put your trust in me. Because I love you. Was sinking, your transportation back was me. Do you remember? Now you have concluded that you need someone to navigate. Which leads me to the question: when can we affiliate? I know survival is not an easy task. I've always been the answer, but I thought you never asked. You see, I love you. Oh, you know I do, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love you. Put your trust in me. 'Cause I love you. Y-O-U. I love you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you. Put your trust in me. 'Cause I love you. I'm more than able, like a beacon in the night, to see that you don't ever lose your way. Because your defense is defective, even at its best. But my efforts will never fail because you can say, hey, oh, never let you down. Simply put your trust in me. 'Cause I love you. Y-O-U. I love you. All you gotta do, trust in me. 'Cause I love you.
Love is patient, love is kind, love is no envy, love is not proud, love behaves, love is not selfish or easily provoked, love is not evil, love shares truth instead of spreading lies, love bears all, love believes all, love endures all, love is hope for all, love never fails. Put your trust. I love you. Put your trust in me. Put your trust in me. 'Cause I love you. You've got to try me. You've got to trust me. I'll never let you down. Put your trust in me. Just because. Trust in me. You're the answer. 'Cause I am the answer. Trust in me. 'Cause I love you. Just turn to me.
Hey, what's happening, kids? What's happening? Yeah, so what do we want to talk about today? We talked about, did we talk about the Vic Lavender situation at Renaissance last night? Maybe not so much. So it was Vic Lavender's birthday, and he and Terry James took the deck, and I am actually kind of strolling through the photos from some of my comrades who joined us last night, and so yeah, I've been there 2 weeks straight. And that's a little more than I need to. Combined with the idea that I again allowed my favorite bartender to serve me her creation. That just wasn't a good thing either. What I will say though is, having been there 2 weeks straight, I think I was correct. I do feel like Terry James and Vic Lavender should have been on the same ticket with Monique Bingham. Should I go on? I won't say much because I'm a critic. I can't help it. I'm critical of myself. But to keep it somewhat PC, because of course I'm drumming up a bunch of energy on Facebook about the idea of holding people at the highest esteem and not undercutting people and stuff of that nature. I'm not going to go too far into why I think that they should have been together on the same ticket, outside of the fact that I just feel like the sounds last night were deep and delicious. Deep and very educating. And I think that's important to note, as I think Monique is deep and educating. She's educating people, and I think that would have been a better marriage than what I witnessed the week before last. But who, like I said, nobody asked me. I'm all over the place with my set today, and I think that's very fine. I'm appreciative that you're tuning in with me on this Thursday. We're very thankful to be here. And yeah, I'm gonna play this tune because it's one of my favorites to play on Sundays at Bureau Bar. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That is the late, great Sylvester. And it's a tune called Sell My Soul. It's a deep cut, ain't it? I'm not going to go off into what I think about it. It has a lot of meaning as it pertains to Holly Weird. And, of course, I could go off on the topic of Kanye, which we will not do either. What do I want to say? I do want to say that I hope that you're taking time out from your social media situations. It's interesting because I have a bunch of new Jedis who are popping up in places that I haven't seen them before, including Douglas Carr, who is popping up a little more on Instagram. Congratulations to you. While you guys are popping up, I'm trying to figure out how to sneak out the back door. So, and because I'm a sharing person, which is probably one of the bigger issues for these social media sites, I watched a video the other day, and so I'll share this. You ever kind of have the feeling like you need to be doing a bunch of other things, but you're sitting on your sofa with your phone in your hand, and you just kind of look up, and it's a couple hours later, and then it's a couple more hours later, and then your wife or your husband or your kid, or, you know, in my case, maybe even your cat might start bitching. So the video kind of gives a little light into the idea of what is really happening to us in social media, especially and specifically Facebook. And so my question for myself becomes, how much more busier can I become so that I'm not jumping up every time I get a notification? And I would like to advise you to be a little more conscious and cognizant of how much time you spend jumping up and down for notifications, and how emotional you are, and how quickly you respond to the things that you see in this very interesting platform that we are all linked to. Anyway, elevation. that's loud. The beauty of elevation. The beauty of elevation. Hey, say that again. Is that you're able to mentally fly above the galaxy. You need to do that. You need to be mindful of that. I'm just saying. The beauty of elevation is that you're able to mentally fly above the galaxy. You have to do that. It's meditation, right? It's meditation. It's meditation that you have to do. And it's probably better when you put your phone down. I'm just saying, dude. Oh, the distractions are so huge in this world. In this world, the distractions are huge. Okay, so I'm being led. Today I'm being led. I'm allowing my energy to do what it does and to play tunes that I think are necessary to play. And that's not uncommon, except for, in certain venues and certain situations where I have to, kind of allow specifications to come into play, and I have to play things that people want to hear over what my spirit wants to have them receive. And most certainly I have to say once again, this is the entire reason why I appreciate the concept of morning love for myself. I am being led. This is interesting. Where did it go? I just saw it. Glenn Underground comes to mind right now. I'm not certain if you are a friend of, as I continue to lead you into Facebook, Jesus, and I'm trying to get out. I'm not certain if you're a friend of Glenn Underground. Glenn Underground is a native of Chicago. Glenn Underground is a producer and DJ and composer. And he has a tune called Day of God, and I'm being led to play that. I had deleted him. I'm real about my shit, right? Let's just keep it 100. Is it after? No, it's just 10:13. Okay, I'm probably not supposed to curse and stuff. I deleted him a couple years ago. It's more than a couple years ago, actually. I'm real cool about deleting people. You just say a few things to me and I'll be like, not to me specifically, but I can get real turned off. And of course, then I find out that there's a hide situation, but hide just doesn't do enough for me. I like deleting people because I just can't take too much. I have to see, I don't need my timeline to be super positive, like only flowers, because I like grit too. But sometimes I just feel like people don't think enough before they post things. And sometimes Glenn just has a tendency to talk a lot. And some of the things that he says I appreciate, and some of them I'm like, dude, would you just do that STFU thing? But Glenn quotes the Bible an awful lot. And I think, I used to know him really well because I used to see him at school back in the days. We went to the same high school. But he quotes the Bible a lot. I think there's some interesting things to be said about that and his belief. This is called A Day of God. It's a little different, actually, than a lot of the things that he does, in my opinion. We'll listen to it because I can't quite recall. And I'm not like listening to these tunes in my headphones before I play them or anything. I'm just popping them out. We just raw dog without a bag today. Yeah, this one's fine. sending cosmic kisses to my entire chat room right now. I think I really did have a good time last night. The good times are addicting and addictive as well. That's me. Live and direct via Spreaker, Fathom DJ, another Morning Love session. Morning Love happens every Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time here in Chicago. Oh, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get this workout boogie that I need. Yes, let me tell you something about good music. The drums were not that hard, right? Like when you think about dance tunes and house music, the drums were not that hard. It's one of my favorite versions of Strings of Life. And one of my favorite clients had a most fabulous cocktail reception, and he enlightened me to this tune that I did not. Well, no, he did not. What he did was he asked me to play the original version of Strings of Life. And I stumbled across this during some research. And it is one of my favorites. So you need to know that it's by Christian Promers. And it's Christian Promers Drum Lesson. Strings of Life. Dopeness. To me. So, I always envision rooftops and wine glasses and cute sundresses and dudes maybe with fedoras on. I'm kind of over fedoras, Jesus. I learned a new word the other day as well. The word is contrarian. I might be a contrarian about some things. When things get super duper popular, when people really start talking about the same folks, I'm like, okay, I don't like them anymore. Contrary. Mary, quite contrary. So fedoras register for me as being the hat not to wear anymore. I've never had an obsession with cigars. I most certainly won't have it now. This is no hatred against those who partake in these sort of things, but if I see too much, I'm like, oh, it's overexposed. Let me fall back. Overexposed. Just a nice little amount of exposure to particular things is what I like. When you start seeing average folks wearing and doing, it makes me want to go sit. I have no problem sitting down because I'm creative and imaginative and come up with my own way of doing things, but I just, oof. Anyway, what does that have to do with music? Janelle Monáe is getting popular today, and I kind of fell off of her a couple years ago. That's what happens with commercialism. You cannot tell when people are being genuine, when they get over commercialized, when they just always pop up in your social media. It just all looks like a publicity stunt to me. Well, you can't tell when people are being genuine or if they just need promotions and publicity anymore, and that kind of troubles me sometimes. I think she's vested in the things that she says about the LGBT community. I think she's vested in, being focused on the babies. I also think that she might be right about Kanye. I just feel like Kanye needs some help. I do. And I don't know if Jesus is going to walk for him unless he disconnects from all the things that he's involved in. And that's hard. wasn't long enough though. That's some bull. Yeah, man. Cowboys and Gangsters. I think it was
Niño,
made by the same
vente
people
conmigo.
who made
Escúchame. Te cuento una cosa.
Deputy of Love
Y unos hombres.
and something
Estos
else. I
hombres
think. I can't remember
eran
it.
hombres bravos. Llegaban de África con la fuerza y la belleza. Ay, hijo, conquistaban la ignorancia y la bestia en la humanidad. Daban al mundo la luz y el fe y también el Dios cósmico. Los llamamos los conquistadores chocolate.
Like, how you gonna make an edit and it not be long? Yeah, man. Yeah. 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 The thing that I have to tell you, it's deep. DJing is a deep thing. It's deep because, let me see if I can turn. Something's weird. You know what? This thing is super loud coming out of my desktop mixer. I know that's one of the challenges. I won't be doing this way again. I know that, Jesus. The thing that I love, but is challenging. So when I say undoing or undjing, when you play the entire tune, it's so much more there that you miss. And, you have to be intentional. I like doing this way. I still haven't worked the kinks out. But you have to be intentional about listening to the entire tune when you're not DJing. Now, of course, those of you who don't understand much about the art of DJing won't find this important to note. But we miss a lot of coolness that happens blending the tunes the way that we do. Oh my God, in terms of hip hop, you better hope you get a minute and 30 seconds. So when I play hip hop, a lot of times, especially certain places, people get bored after the first minute and 30 seconds. That's what I normally end up being cognizant about changing the tune, is at a minute and 30 or 35 seconds. I'm like, okay, time to switch. And you miss a lot of the goodness. So I appreciate allowing the tune to play out and hearing every bit of the instrumentation, especially based on one of my current inspirations for creating music. Is finding the little isolated bits and being able to use them in some places that I'm forming tunes in. Speaking of which, I did put a new tune on Bandcamp, so I want you to go to Bandcamp and check out the Friday Night Africa Mother's Drum version. If you haven't heard it already, it's there. And I think out of the two that have been released, I'm more fond of the Mother's Drum than I am. That's not true. That is not true. It's different, and it has a different place in terms of when I play it and how I play it than the one that's on Traxsource. But go over there and at least take a listen to it. It's at fathomdj.bandcamp.com and tell me what you think of Friday Night Africa, the Mother's Drums. So I don't know why this came up, but I'm playing it.
Whoa, yeah. Yeah. They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air. But when you're walking down the street and you ain't had enough to eat, the glitter rubs right off and you're nowhere.
This little girl is starting to go out. The glitter rubs right off and you're nowhere. Kanye. I'ma stop.
But looking at them just gives me the blues. How you gonna make some time when Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, they say that I won't last too long on Broadway. I catch a Greyhound bus for home, they all say, yeah. But they're dead wrong, I know they are, 'cause I can play this here guitar, and I won't quit till I'm a star on Broadway. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah. I won't quit till I'm a star on. Oh, yeah. Won't quit till I'm a star. Whoa, yeah. Won't quit till I'm a star. Won't quit till I'm a star. Whoa, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Won't quit till I'm a star. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, won't quit till I'm a star.
Quit till I'm a star.
Yeah, yeah,
Won't quit till I'm a star. Hey, won't quit till I'm a star.
whoa.
Won't quit till I'm a star. Yeah. Won't quit till I'm a star. Yeah. Won't quit till I'm a star.
Won't quit till I'm a star
Hey,
on Broadway.
don't quit.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
quit. Hey,
yeah.
Gino Young. We miss you, Gino. Dude, what you doing? Gino is fabulous. Gino wrote tons of tunes for Erykah Badu, tons of tunes for Ndombi, who has a new album on the market that I have yet to hear. Thank you, Douglas. It was feeling right. And I think that I need to check out her project. I need to check out Rhapsody's project because I still haven't heard that. I think I need to check out J. Cole's project. And I struggle with him from some time. I'm not going to tell you why I struggle with him, but I do. And it's a few other folks who I've missed. What's that cat's name from Foreign Exchange? Fonte. Oh, I'm missing tons of things, y'all. But it's hard for me because, I got these drums. I got these drums and these ideas, and I'm really trying to get more focused. Not that I'm not focused. And I need to do this while I'm here. If any of you know a really, really, really talented keyboard player, pianist, who is interested in working remote, who has I'm giving out my whole job description, requirements, who has the time to construct tunes, would you please hit one of my inboxes, or you can send me, you can give me his name and information in this session or what have you. I'm most certainly findable. I need to find someone who has the time and energy to do some electronic remote sessions with me, so that we can really chop down on these ideas that I have. I'm working. And I'm kind of teaching myself to play, but I'm not strong enough to do what I hear at this point, and I need to get these things going. I gotta play this because I found this the other day, and it's on vinyl, and it's in storage, and I'm creeping. I swear to God, I'm gonna keep talking about my storage space until my storage space is in my place. I'm going to start bringing my records here, which makes me nervous, but I need to dig. I don't need any more projects, but I need to dig through some things and find some things, because I don't know if you know this, but everybody is revisiting the 90s. Last night I heard a lot of revisits to the 90s in Vic Lavender's set, and I was actually kind of surprised. But good surprise. I was surprised though, because I haven't heard him in a couple years, I guess the last 2 years ago I went to the day to night party, and I need you to know that the day to night party is a fabulous Sunday party that happens the same weekend as the Chosen Few event, and because of the fact that I think they decided to nix the Sunday because they decided to nix the Sunday half of the Chosen Few event, my assumption is that Vic Lavender's party is going to be off the mother chain. And of course, I have other obligations. But if I can scoot on by for the earlier half of the day to night party on that particular Sunday, then I'm going to scoot on by and try to pull myself. Tardy to the party. Oh, Howard, cosmic kisses to you. We were all tardy today. Yeah, that's how it works sometimes. So it's all good. Yeah, but if I can get to the day to night party, I'm definitely going. If you're going to be in town that particular week, I'll find out exactly when it is, because, I have that kind of, look, I have access to Crackville. I'm going to start calling Facebook Crackville. I have access to the page, so I'm going there now. Day to night. Oh yeah, it was July 2nd last year. So you could do the math because I'm spacing. I assume that it's July 3rd, 2018. Yeah, it's July 3rd this year, and I think that's a cute angle to have for that weekend. They built that party. I'm proud of them for building that party on the heels of the Chosen Few situation. I think it was very smart. Actually, so that's the question. So it was July 2nd last year, but I'm looking at my calendar. The assumption is the way things are working, either it's the 1st or the 8th. I'll do the research and play this tune. Speaking of Vic Lavender, I remember exactly where I was when I purchased this tune. There was a small little record store in, I would really like to say that area is Ukrainian Village, but I think it's Little Village because it's right outside of Wicker Park. It used to be south of Ashland, and it was on Ashland and north of Augusta that I purchased this particular tune. And Vic Lavender and I were actually in there record shopping together. And I'll never forget that, because when I got outside, after purchasing vinyl, I got outside to find that someone had hit my PT Cruiser. Memories. Throwback Thursday.
was a boy, very strange, enchanted boy. Said he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy, sad and died. Very wise was he. Then one day, magic day, he passed my way. As we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you could ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. To 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 be loved, to be loved in return. Yeah. Then one day, one magic day, he passed my way. And as we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you could ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. To 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 be loved
All the way through, I was just living my life all the way through. Living my life all the way through the track. It's time for me to move this body around again. And I guess the reason why, you just get caught up. No, that's not true. I'm going to tell you a few things that I think, and you can do whatever you want to do with them. I pride myself in being honest and true. I pride myself. I'm not entirely transparent. I'm not going to tell you I'm a good business, and I think I've said that several times here as well as in other spaces and places on this good internet. But I know when I talk about Facebook and the addiction, that it is really real to the point that I don't know if you realize this, but for me personally, now I'm not saying that I always am alone, but when I'm alone, I coddle and I binge on Facebook. And I know that most certainly, when I leave the house, I have things to do. I have work to do, and I'm going out and doing my thing. When I'm in the house, sometimes I just be just in the zone. And what I'm finding, especially as of last night, two things. Number one, I have to seek DJs who play the music that I play, or it's specific, honey. I have to be specific. I get my groove on in the DJ booth when I'm playing, if I'm really, really feeling it. I gotta play one of these Catch Me on the Rebounds or something, because I caught the ghost on Catch Me on the Rebound at Bureau Bar last Sunday. I was in the booth losing it. So I can definitely kind of sort of get my groove on, but I'm working, right? I need you to know that DJing is work. I need you to know this because I had an inbox conversation with a DJ who was trying to put together an event, and his text made me believe that he doesn't see DJing as work, because it was just oh, I know everybody has things to do with their week and blah, 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 blah. People got jobs and stuff, and I'm trying to throw this event on Sunday, and I know everybody doesn't work on Sunday. I said, I work on Sunday. He's like, what kind of work do you do on Sunday? Duh. Not duh. Just duh. 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 Just duh. Because, he acknowledged the fact that I do Sundays affair at Bureau Bar. He doesn't see it as work. And it leads me to believe that he's at a point where he doesn't see his DJing as work. And I don't care if you only do it once a year. The shit is work. And we need to address it as such so people understand the work involved. That's a different topic. I caught the ghost and I lost my point because I'm looking at a bunch of windows and stuff. Oh, the transparency piece. So yeah, so I need to find, I'm honing in on a few little mentees that are going to play my sound and play the tunes that I play. So when I go out, I can get my whole life in the same way, because I need to move this body. I realized it last night. I felt it, but I couldn't get it like I normally get it. And I know that's an age thing too. But I also know that I'm not using my parts like I normally would. And so, I fell off my Pilates situation. It got cold. and blah, blah, blah. I can make 1,000 excuses for why I'm not working out. But I know that when I went out last night and started moving around, I was like, yeah, I need to inhale, exhale like this more. So that's what I'm going to seek to do. And in addition to the fact that I'm trying to find other things to do to kick my habit a little more. As it pertains to Loving Is Really My Game, I did catch the ghost on Loving Is Really My Game. I do want to play Catch Me on the Rebound, though. Because Catch Me on the Rebound is part of the reason why I ended up playing Loving Is Really My Game. Yeah. Because Lolita Holloway will have you catching ghosts all up and through. And I think I'm going to get up and dance in a second while I play the song for you. Loving Is Really My... I might have to play that too, just to follow up like I did on Sunday. Listen at the drums. Listen at the drums. And then, I mean, these are just church vocalists. Like, when they get into it, you just be like, and the drums drop and stuff, like, you gotta be there. You gotta be there. And these would be considered, well, Catch Me on the Rebound. I don't know if Catch Me is a sing-along. Loving Is Really My Game is a single. I don't give a good goddamn no more. I play music, and it's good. Just play music. Just don't wear it the fuck out. So I got a question. Oh God. See, this is bad. This is the mentality. When the mentality shift happens, yeah, it's hard to come down. I'm just gonna say it's hard to come down. It's hard to come out. I just posted a photo of what leaving or attempting to leave Facebook looks like. I was trying to find out how I was going to use these particular images, and I think I found it. It's very scary. So my thought, I'll share my thought. My thought to myself is, what elements made this tune dope? That's what I was thinking to myself. And I'm like, I can't really dissect it because it's like the percussion is off the chain. Then you got the breakdown of the bass line. Of course, I'm a fan of the flute. Of course, I love Lolita Holloway's vocals. And it's interesting because I don't necessarily like newer house music with those types of hollering siren type vocals, church folk. I don't really like newer house music that uses that church kind of hollering. I could tell you some things, but I won't. I have a theory for that particular style of music that it's not politically correct to share. But for disco, originally, I live for the vocalist who takes you to church for disco, not for new house. Someone played Lovin' Is Really My Game, of course, and then, what time is it? Oh, we got almost another hour. Isn't that something? Yeah, I'm going to play a few more disco tunes, and then I think I need to delve into some of the newer tunes that I purchased just so I can make reference to those, and we can talk a little more poop. And, yeah.
Disco.
And once again, I have to ask, the elements. You got to look at the elements. The energy of the song is everything. The vocals make that energy happen. The percussion. The bass line. I could fall out. Yeah. I didn't move. I didn't get up. I didn't get up because I was staring at something I shouldn't have been looking at. But what's OGAG? I don't know. You're going to have to break that down for me, hon. Pressure Point. Yeah, so I've been having conversations. Interestingly enough, a few people that I've deleted, I've had conversations with in the inbox. And of course, they're not asking me why I deleted them because I don't have a problem telling you what you did. What you did. But Zernell Gilly is another DJ and producer. He's a Chicago-based DJ and producer who now lives I think he's in Oakland. And we spent a lot of time buying Good, Always Good. Well, once good, always, I'm sorry. Once good, always good. Yeah, I agree. Thank you. Oh, good, always. Oh, good. Douglas Kerr, my Jedi. I will definitely, you'll be getting an email from me after session. What I was going to say is Zernell Gilly is somebody who I spent a bunch of time with. I don't know what year it was. It was 1802. No, it wasn't quite that. But we traded tunes. He has, I don't know how many original tunes he has out. He does have a record label called Grimy. He does put out music for other folk. He is traveling a lot more internationally these days. They do have a event coming to Chicago. It's kind of a Chicago House Fest kind of situation that's going to happen in I think it's Millennium Park if I'm not mistaken. And oh Lord, you know what? Yeah, I need to go ahead and I'm gonna have to log out again because I start stuff. I do. I had a moment this morning before I started, and you know what I was supposed to do? So I got this regime that's supposed to help me. I have to tell you these things. So in the morning, I've decided to move my phones out of my bedroom so that they're not by me. So that's not the first thing that I take in the morning. And I'm supposed to, I need to buy an alarm clock. I'm supposed to, I have a couple of videos that I'm supposed to watch in the morning so that I can make sure that my day starts off on the right foot. And I have these sayings that I have to say to make sure that happens. Because, music helps the kids move along. The hard part is, this is the hard part, all of those things can be found on my devices. On these phones, I would normally go and play some tunes in the morning on these phones. I would normally go and, of course, set my alarm clock. Look at my clock on these phones with Facebook. So I'm challenged. Yeah. And this morning I got up and I grabbed my phone because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be late or somewhat late for this morning's Morning Love edition. And I looked at the phone and I got caught up in the reaction of the Kanye situation. And now I got all these people posting about their political views and stuff. And I'm not really, I care. I really do care. But I'm not that interested in engaging. And I don't have to, But, yeah, my timeline, my notifications are on fleek. And I'm not feeling that.
Push me,
So yeah, that was a Zernell Gilly edit. Pressure Point. Love the tune.
Trae la bomba y la plena, trae la bomba ya. Trae la bomba y la plena, trae la bomba ya. No me traigan más cerveza, que lo que yo quiero es ron. No me traigan más cerveza, que estoy en un vacilón. Yo te traigo el swing, tú me traes el ron, mamá. Yo te traigo el swing, ven y pégate pa' acá. Yo te traigo el swing, tú me traes el ron, mamá. Yo te traigo el swing. Ven y pégate pa' acá. Me lo dijo Josefina, me lo dijo Luis Lebrón. Lo mejor en este mundo, sopita de tiburón. Yo te traigo el swing, mamá. Tú me traes el ron, mamá. Yo te traigo el swing, mamá. Ven y pégate pa' acá, mamá. Yo te traigo el swing, mamá. Tú me traes el ron, mamá. Yo te traigo el swing, mamá. Ven y pégate pa' acá. No me vengan con julepe, aprieta, camínalo, no, no, no. No me vengan con julepe, aprieta, camínalo, echa pa' allá. No me vengan con julepe, aprieta, camínalo, no, no, no. No me vengan con julepe, aprieta, camínalo. Trae la bomba y la plena, trae la bomba ya. Trae la bomba y la plena, trae la bomba ya. Se lo dedico. Trae la bomba y la plena, trae la bomba ya. Trae la bomba y la plena, trae la bomba ya. Se lo dedico. Trae la bomba y la plena, trae la bomba ya. Trae la bomba y la plena, trae la bomba ya. Trae la bomba y la plena, trae la bomba ya. Alele, la bomba y la plena, alele, la bomba ya. Alele, la bomba y la plena, alele, la bomba ya. Alele, la bomba y la plena, alele, la bomba ya. Yo te traigo el swing, tú me traes el ron, mamá. Yo te traigo el swing, ven y pégate pa' acá. Yo te traigo el swing, tú me traes el ron, mamá. Yo te traigo el swing, ven y pégate pa' acá. Yo te traigo el swing, tú me traes el ron, mamá. Yo te traigo el swing, ven y pégate pa' acá. Yo te traigo el swing, tú me traes el ron, mamá. Yo te traigo el swing, ven y pégate pa' acá.
So I think there's there's a theme brewing. Unintentionally, there's a theme brewing. So I've been playing a lot of Chicago artists and people. A few more than I intentionally play, because it's so interesting. This life is interesting. My perspective is interesting. My angle of view is interesting. I have gotten a few tunes from Titan Davis. And Jamie 326 has a tune out that I thought was really cool. I deleted all of these people who I'm playing right now. This is what I'll say. This is my podcast / music situation. Podcast meaning talk. I might get to the point where I do some interviews with people. I'm considering doing that to add some content and maybe peppering those interviews throughout. I don't know. It's still creative. It's not quite structured at this point. But Jamie 326 has a tune called Testify, and I think it's a collaborative tune. What I'll say is that Chicago is under acknowledged as it pertains to DJing. I'll say DJing. I think if we don't hurry up, then Chicago is going to be, Chicago could potentially miss the boat for creating institutions for house music. So I would rather say that Chicago goes very under acknowledged for creating DJs. I think that is the reason why, if you're friends with any of these DJs in social media, you see a lot of disgruntled, bitter folk lashing out and saying things in Facebook because they're in pain. Yeah, a lot of us are in pain. And I mean, it's an artist thing. So like if you collected all of an artist kind of people in the community, I'm sure you would have bitterness, and then there's all these threats and things like that. But I know for certain creation keeps you from being bitter. It's healing. It provides you with a sense of newness, which I think we all need. And it gives you an opportunity to extract yourself from Facebook. So instead of being on Facebook bitching and complaining all the time, I think, you should maybe, create more podcasts and create more music and potentially go out and network and find more opportunities or create more opportunities for yourself. So that we don't have to delete you.
Yes, I'm alone.
I feel the need to find. I wonder, can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? You newborn leaders, you weary travelers, you long-time members, you true believers. Oh, can't you hear? He's just a child trying to be, but they took my little boy away from me, and I'm alone. Yes, I'm alone. Can't you see? Children watching another man gone by war, by dope, twisted, destroyed when he lost all hope. He was father, he was brother, he was husband, he was lover, he was son. Gone, 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 gone. Yes, I feel the need to find. I wonder, can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? I wonder, can I get a witness? Can I get a witness?
We're not doing that today. Whoa. Yeah. Very, very well put together. So now I got questions like, who is Masalo? Is he a producer? Or is he a musician and producer? And what role did he play in constructing this edit? Remix? I don't know what to call it. I think it's interesting. That was dope. And Titan Davis, one of Chicago's very own DJs and producers, enlightened me to this tune in one of his sessions on Facebook. So shout outs to him for bringing that to my attention. Jamie has a few pieces that he's been putting out that I haven't paid attention to. And I most certainly will try to be a little more mindful. There's a two. So I updated my podcast. No, let me go back. I updated my Mixcloud account with a new mix. It's an installation from a series that I do called Interplanetary Radio, which was my first title for radio show, internet radio show. I updated my mix, so there's a mix there that's new, and I'm really, really fond of it. I just am. It's got a few house tunes, like traditional 4 on the floors, but it's got a lot of live instrumentation in it. It's current. All of the tunes are mostly current. There are a few edits, but it's current new music, and it's got a good feeling to it. It's one of my favorites. So if you're interested, Mixcloud is it's mixcloud.com/FathomDJ, and the it's Interplanetary Radio, and it's the March. It's either March or April because I missed a month. It's called The Journey. They're all called The Journey, but it's by month. So I'm due to do another one because it's almost May. And we'll see what journey happens next. I was thinking about it when I was driving home this morning. So I'm going to play this and try not to curse somebody out for hitting my inbox with requests. Not for this show, but for one of my gigs that's happening this week. And this is probably the second or third time in the past 2 weeks that somebody has hit my inbox and asked me. I'm like, I'm really, nah, that's not what you want to do. This ain't what you want. course, I love the drums. I always struggle with over like an abundance of like loopy, samplies, vocalies. You most certainly could mix Superman right into that. It's called glitter disco. The end. And that I think was the intent. I am Teddy Douglas. I'm looking for something particular that I'm not finding, of course. Always that. I'm also waiting for some strange reason. My internet is loading a little slow. Not that it isn't slow in general, but so they just announced that the little superstar DJ kid committed suicide, or that's at least what they're telling us. And I don't mean that in any sarcastic kind of way. But after watching the video that I watched, I have to keep talking about that video because I think you should watch it. I'm looking for something else too. I'm multitasking and it's a terrible thing. Once I get back to my regularly scheduled way of arranging for my shows, it'll be so much smoother. I just happen to have went out for the last couple weeks, and that's the hard part because we start these things in the dead of winter when there's not a lot of stuff going on, and then of course when the elements give way to favor, then you alter the schedule. I am going to do my best to try to stay on Thursdays at 9:00. I am. I already altered the time. So I'm going to do my best. If all else fails, I might come to you in the car and be like, yeah, I'm going to play these tunes from the car. And see, the quality was ass before, so you don't really care. I'm looking for something particular that I can't find right now. It'll come up. In the meantime, I completely understand the idea of suicide, as I've had my own thoughts. Few attempts. Not real attempts, clearly, but thoughts. I found it. I love this tune. And, I just got a theory that they pushed him. They pushed that boy. They pushed him. Superstar DJ, as young as he was, he probably liked it from the beginning, and they pushed him too far. I'm going to read the article, and I'm going to play this tune. I love this tune. I need everybody to know, because it's dope. Steve Crawford is called Rise, and it looks like, let me see, because something's weird here. Guillotine Redo, spelled weird. Soulful Roads mix. I think Douglas Kerr probably has this tune already. If he doesn't, then we'll have to have a conversation about it.
When the world's a maze of blunders, time to rise and face the thunder. Oh, the storm will take you under. So rise
try to overthrow your flowing, and the rowers keep on rowing. But every day's a way for growing. So rise, rise. Raise your hands up. 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 Sweet day, light of light.
I like the vocals too. So yeah, we're about to end the session. I'm sending you cosmic kisses and well wishes to your Thursday and your weekend. I'm your girl Fathom DJ, live and direct via Spreaker. We do this every Thursday starting at the hour of 9 a.m. What's happening with me? I will be in Chicago. I have a few things that I need to do outside of Chicago, but I'll be in Chicago this weekend. I will be at Tantrum, 1023 South State in the South Loop on Saturday. I will be at Bureau Bar on Sunday, which is 75 East 16th. It is Jeff Tim's birthday, who is the bartender, model, athlete, singer, actor, multi-talented mixologist, who I am very grateful to be aligned with for Sunday's affair. And then, Monday, I will be see, that's what happens. Monday, I'll be at the Charleston, and that's 2076 North Hoyne for another Booze and Boogie session. This one is called Holding Court, and it is paying homage to the female MCs. I am sending you cosmic kisses once again. Find me in the World Wide Websphere at findingfathomdj.com. Hashtag findingfathomdj. Hashtag fathomdj. Yeah. Oh, go to Bandcamp and check out the newer version of Friday Night Africa. I think you'll enjoy it. And stay tuned. I'm stalling. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.